That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Superintelligence. Not the reality of it, but a film. The fourth film directed by Ben Falcone, starring Melissa McCarthy, which will be available on HBO Max November 26, 2020.
You said this film was made in 2018?
Yeah, it was shot in summer of 2018, right after she was done with The Kitchen.
And then they sat on it until
And now it's here.
the worst time possible. Which makes sense, because this is not a good movie. All right. It is about a woman.
Carol Peters.
Played by Melissa McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
She is just a very average lady who works like...
Which is a plot point.
She works like communications or some kind of generic job. She was working for Yahoo and now she's looking for new employment. Initially, we find her like bebopping around, making her way to an interview for an app called Badunkadunk.
As their digital strategist.
Which is like a hookup app. But even prior, so her bebopping around, we see that like Big Brother is watching her, like cameras are watching her. The job interview is whack. She doesn't get it and she wouldn't have wanted it anyway. But when she gets back home, she finds that like her appliances are talking to her, the radio's talking to her, the TV, and it's James Corden's voice. And that voice is AI.
Mm-hmm. So, and he uses that voice because it's a voice that calms her.
Because the character really likes James Corden. Mm-hmm. So this AI, we don't know where it comes from, but the basic premise for this thing is that it wants to help Earth save itself, like humans. And it's going to monitor this very average woman for 3 days to see if it's worth the trouble, basically.
And without really telling her what he's doing, he's putting her through a series of tests.
And the main test is she is supposed to try to rekindle a love affair she had with like a long past boyfriend.
George.
Played by Bobby Cannavale. So while this is happening, so he like gives her a bunch of money and a fancy car and like buys, like the AI buys her like a penthouse and sets up like a foundation in her name that has like this $1 billion endowment. So she has all these things going for her, but in the background, so her best friend,
played by Brian Tyree Henry, Dennis, is
this gay black man.
We assume he's gay.
Anyway, he's like he works for Microsoft in like tech or software or something. He becomes privy to like the AI she's experiencing, and then he relays that to like the feds.
Because he finds something in the coding that's troubling.
Something's happening on the interwebs that is alarming. So the feds get involved. These two agents who seem so incompetent, played by Melissa McCarthy's husband.
The director. And
he's the director too?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it's the fourth film he's directed her in.
Oh, he needs to stop. And then who's the black man?
Sam Richardson.
There are these agents who seem like they don't understand anything either, trying to help her, but obviously AI is like a million steps ahead of them. The world leaders come together very quickly with Dennis, the Microsoft guy, like at the head of this mission to stop the AI. And their plan is to basically cut off all the power to the world, except for this little tiny area in Seattle where they will like trap the AI and then somehow destroy it.
Sandboxed with blackout.
But the gag's on them because the AI already knew that, and the AI has more insidious plans. It knows that humans are trash and won't ever sort of make how does he refer to it? Like, we won't make decisions that don't destroy us.
Yeah.
So there's no point like even helping us. So the AI is kind of behind the blackout, and in the sense that once we black out, we won't be able to get the power back on.
Much like the finale of Escape from LA.
Yes. But the world is saved because the plot point, which is a very big part of the film, Carol trying to get with George. She's successful, kind of, but he's like a creative writing professor, and he has this teaching gig in Ireland, so he has to go off to Ireland for a year, so he's leaving no matter what. But the world has like 3 hours or something before it's about to end, and she decides that she's going to go visit George for the last time to help him pack and send him off to the airport. instead of telling him the world's ending, she just pretends like everything's normal.
Or going to hide in a bunker, they offer her that.
They offer her, yeah. She decides to just go help him and like be there for him. And the AI realizes she has a good heart. So the AI decides to give humans another chance. The end. This story was some doo-doo. I thought that it was like if someone's like middle-aged parent who knows nothing about tech, which probably would be me, if I wrote a script about AI and tried to make it like a rom-com, it would be this stupid.
Rom-com. So the fourth film, directed by Ben Falcone, starring his wife. You've seen all the others. You've seen Tammy. You've seen The Boss. This was written by the writer of The Boss. And Life at the Party.
This is definitely the worst one.
Yeah.
They should have kept, like, they should have sat on this one.
And what we were talking about afterwards, the problem is we have Melissa McCarthy, who's kind of like bigger than life in all of these other films that they've done. Even Life at the Party, like she's very vivacious as that woman who goes back to college. But this, like, the crux of it is that she's supposed to be this bland, milquetoast, average person, and there's no room. And
go ahead.
So she's like the straight man, ostensibly, and then she's paired with this AI who's also the straight man.
So where are the jokes? Who's supposed to be funny?
Because Bobby Cannavale isn't.
Nope. The agents aren't funny. The little gay black friend is not.
Oh, poor Brian.
I mean, he's kind of cute because he's sort of like enamored by the president, who's played by
Gene Smart, Designing Women.
So he has a few humorous scenes with her.
He does, but he's a really good actor, and he's in a ton of stuff that this doesn't sell him very well.
One funny scene is when Carol goes to Badunkadunk for her job interview. The interview is super awkward, and I thought not very funny, but they have her sit on this big-ass beanbag, and she obviously is having a hard time getting on the beanbag.
She's good at physical comedy.
Yeah, so that was amusing.
Oh, and also when she has to start the Tesla when they go on the date.
That was another funny scene. So the AI provides her with this Tesla Model X to drive around in, and the AI is controlling the car. She's just pretending to drive so it doesn't look weird. But on her first date with George, the AI kind of stays out of it to see what she does, and she can't start the car. That was funny. That's probably the funniest scene.
Minorly amusing.
Oh my gosh. So Carol's reaction to the AI initially, I thought was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. She tears up her kitchen trying to beat up like the toaster because the toaster's talking, and then it just seems so off because she works like she's presumably like an intelligent person, and
it's and the one moment I thought was also amusing is when Dennis finds out about this. And the AI is using James Corden's voice to relax her, but to relax him, it uses Octavia Spencer's voice. And I was kind of hoping it would at least flip-flop in between them.
Well, because the AI knows that like the best way to appeal to people is to talk to them in the voice of someone they really admire. Mm-hmm. So like at the end of the film, the AI convinces some kid to do something and uses Adam Levine's voice.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then at one point, the AI driving this black Tesla uses the Knight Rider voice, mm-hmm. like the voice that Kit would use.
Oh, and they got that Law and Order.
Oh yeah, and then he uses the Law and Order like doom doom doom.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Carol has to get like a makeover to make her look a little more presentable, which was whack because first of all, they don't. Like, her face and hair are fine. Mm-hmm, yeah. And her clothes are fine.
Yeah.
So then they send her to, like, this fancy boutique with this, like, gay man and this, like, fancy lady to help her. And they put her in these ridiculous, like, couture clothes mm-hmm. that just look like something out of a Missy Elliott video. It's so stupid. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And then I was fully expecting her to get, like, a full makeover. Like, hair, makeup, really stylish clothes. No, they put her in, like, a black and white jumper. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. That seemed like a waste. I thought this movie felt like a commercial.
It looks
but like not a good. Yeah, it looks like a bad commercial. Because even the commercials Melissa McCarthy did for Kia, I think are better quality and funnier than this movie.
Yeah, it looks as if it's trying to sell us some kind of product all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Oh, and then there's Michael Beach in there as her as the General Gomez, I think.
Then there's a scene where she, like on her final date with George, they go to like a Mexican restaurant that they went to on their first date. Yeah. That seems so pointless. Like they go in and start dancing and Like that, like the dancing wasn't funny. I just don't understand where are the jokes and what's supposed to be.
This just felt like a lot of the other films that Falcone directed with her is like a sketch that they just pad with all kinds of stuff. Like, oh yeah, we'll have like the scene where they have her trying on clothes, and everything is one cliche built on top of the other, and it's dull.
So the world leaders decide that they're going to explain the global power outage is due to solar flares.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I don't understand why Dennis is like a part of this. So this guy who works at Microsoft who brought this to everyone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there are a lot of films like that. Like, what's the one with Jake Gyllenhaal and the weather?
The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah. Isn't the dad, like Dennis Quaid's part of it because he's like a researcher. I mean, I get
or Geostorm.
Geostorm. Yes, with
all those poor people.
Yeah. I understand that they use experts, but this just felt so stupid. Every scene where they're at the command center looks so bootleg.
Mm-hmm. It just none of it pops. And then they got Ken Griffey Jr. in there for a cameo as himself.
Someone shouts, "We're turning off the world."
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I think Falcone says that. Yeah.
That's so stupid. I don't know. Oh. Another plot point that really bothered me is the rolling blackouts are happening. Because this all takes place within 3 days. So the rolling blackouts are happening. We see footage of it happening in China. And so everyone knows. And also, this is set in the Pacific Northwest, in Washington State.
Seattle, right?
So, right. So, already people don't have cell service. So everyone knows this is happening. So why is George getting on a plane to fly to Ireland? Wouldn't you think that would be a reason to ground all planes and?
That's true.
That's so stupid.
This was in the dark ages of pre-COVID, so.
Someone also shouts, "I'm sorry if I'm ruining your apocalypse." Was that Karen?
I forget who said that. Carol, you mean? I think she says it.
Oh,
yeah.
Carol, Karen, whatever. I like stupid things and they will make me laugh, but this film is not funny. It's just dumb.
No. It was.
I'm gonna give it 1.5, but I don't even know why I'm giving it 1.5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 1.
I should give it a 1. Do you have anything else?
No.
All right, toodaloo.